Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Delacour. I am the co-founder of BIME Analytics, acquired by Zendesk recently. I'm here to talk to you about out of sight, not out of mind, and how I expanded and managed my teams overseas. I would like to give you some tips about what we've learned from incubating internationally in the shoes of the startup, expanding, and now in the shoes of the acquired company. What it is from a relationships management, to manage that yourself into being managed on those questions. Quick word about the kind of business I've launched. So BIME Analytics, it's modern business intelligence, SaaS, B2B. We were providing the pioneering cloud-based business intelligence platform for SMEs. And among the use cases, for example, we could help companies to measure and understand the entire customer experience online. It was also one of the reasons we've been acquired by Zendesk almost 2 years ago. For your information, it's super emotional to be acquired by your SaaS B2B rockstar. So that's a particular moment, books to write about that. And now we are helping Zendesk to build better customer relationships. So we are now in the little circle. Our new name is now Explore, and we are part of this family. We are powering, we are the analytics backbone of all those products. About keeping decentralized teams happy, at least trying to, at first, and I could end my presentation right now, it's super complicated. This is what we've learned. It requires, because relationships are complicated, it requires a high level of energy, because we are this generation of entrepreneurs, for most of us, that we are caring about people, product, profit in that order. So people care, people are a nightmare to manage at some point. And the more the company grows, the more the pain grows, because when you are a startup, you are growing your business, you are having several rounds of funding, you are adding new talent, new structure, new offices through time, and cards are being replayed the more your company is growing. So you have to re-explain everything to your guys. You have to re-optimize everything. So the more the company grows, the pain grows. About managing our first US headquarters, so let me walk you through this. So we launched the business in 2009 in the unconventional French tech place of Montpellier in the south of France. And by this time, we are 2 married co-founders, so the marriage stuff is important for the rest of the story. And we are in the cloud, we are leveraging all those fantastic new technologies, and our business is actually becoming a global business. We are the first to be surprised about that. We had lots of traction coming from the US, coming from Northern Europe, from UK, from Australia, New Zealand, etc., everywhere except France. So we remained in Montpellier. And it's a time where, can you see that? Oh, okay. It's a time where we hired international talents for this, to fuel this growth. Everyone was located in Montpellier. We've hired international talents to help us to answer our international incoming leads. So it was our first experience about incubating internationally, from Montpellier. So this is the team, super nice guys. And it's also a time where all the noise around our industry topics, cloud BI, business analytics in the cloud, big data stuff, etc., everything was coming from the US. Those topics were super hot over there. So we knew that we would have to get advisors from the US. So we found US business angels to help us, And it was a way also to test our aptitude for transatlantic communication, and we've learned a lot from that while staying in Montpellier. 2012, 2013, our business is growing. There is still this US customers portfolio who is growing. all the PR noise is still in California. Our main competitors are still there. And we are having these fantastic Google partnerships on BigQuery. We were the first analytics front end on top of Google BigQuery. So at some point, we need to, sorry for the, Montpellier. We need to go to the US because we are starting to miss revenue opportunities. And my go-to-market team in Montpellier is saying, okay, Rachel, the cloud is fantastic, but there is the time zones, and from a support standpoint, we are not doing a good job. So 2013, we've raised our Series A with a French VC, Alven Capital, 3 million euros. And it's time for us to go to the US and to say, okay, we are very practical people. We are here to generate revenue. So let's show that we are able to establish a local go-to-market team, okay, so with local US guys selling our European tech product to the US local market. And let's go to the US and pick the obvious place of Kansas City. Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, Kansas, because we are super hipster guys. So we've picked that place for many reasons, actually. We have this sense of urgency. We've raised only 3 million euros. This is great in France. This is absolutely nothing in the US, but to start a US business. We want to go fast. We have this sense of urgency. So we've picked that city to very quickly hire people, very smart people everywhere. It's a sales go-to-market team. So we want to be the big fish in that city. We want to go fast. We want to have at least half a day in common with the Montpellier team. We are quite comfortable with unconventional places, so that's fine. And actually, we got lots of success to recruit very easily, very rapidly. You know, we were growing in less than 3 months. We started with 10 to 15 people, so, and all of that, you know, far from the mothership. So what we did well, and what we would do again, really we took time to choose our local leader, to empower him. You remember the married co-founder stuff, you know, so you can't really split the co-founders. It's not really easy. Plus we wanted to show the scalability of our model to implement teams, you know, and offices everywhere. So this guy is not a proxy. This person, he or she, is not an offshore subcontractor. So you really have to give ego to that person in front of the new hired team. It was really important for us that this person was to be a local expert, whether we're talking about understanding, you know, what is a compensation plan for the country, for the US. I was not able to deal with that myself with my French understanding of things. So we are talking about compensation plan to paying the electricity bill. Yeah, voilà. It has to go really fast, so the more expert, the best. And also, there is no hype stuff about, yes, you can work remotely. No way. This leader, he has to work physically. He has to be present in the office to ramp up the team. So we also we did our best to, wherever possible, run the company as one, run those two offices as one combined company, so the 1 + 1 = 1. One set of metrics, let's say, you know, one channel of acquisition, one material for sales enablement, you know, because you shouldn't duplicate everything, because when you are not duplicating everything, the new team, you know, is forced to communicate with the mothership. We also tried to trigger as much as we could healthy competition between the sales team. Remember, we are talking mainly here about a go-to-market team. And it was important for them to, of course, we all have the same goal at the end of the day, but it was important for them to get this sense of competition, to better know each other as well, sometimes to split the team, to mix the team, sorry. And everything related to workplace experience and benefits, you take the highest standard, you know, in the country, and you try to apply that to the other country. And we don't care about whether it's the mothership or the new offices, but you have to apply that highest standard. Managing cultural differences, it seems it's super easy to say, really hard to do it well. For me, you know, it was a new, they were super young guys joining the company, and they had the same age, you know, of my Montpellier team. So you assume that those guys, they will be the same, they are all connected to the web, they are using the same app, etc. Actually, it's completely different. When you are talking about, when you are putting cash on the table, to, you know, because there is a phone call to pick up, etc., in France, it's super taboo. In the US, it's really welcome. So you really have to understand that to manage the cultural differences. For example, they were doing, each morning in the US, they were having this huddle. I don't even know, still don't know this sport. I didn't try to understand that, but I knew that if I was the local leader, I would have never think about, you know, do this kind of things. Why it was super important for them. So you have to go fast and understand all that. You have to over-communicate. It's the glue of your distributed culture, whether it's formally, you know, or informally. It has to be physical as well. You have to be creative, but you have to over-communicate. It's simple. It's just to avoid interpretation. You are hearing my Franglish, okay? So it's something that is super important to communicate again. It's exhausting, but you have to do that. I asked this team, overseas team as well, to contribute to our content creation. It was a way for me to give them ego also, so that they were feeling that they were part of a story, you know, that they were belonging to a new story. It was important for them to speak about BIME in their own words. So it worked pretty well. You know, they were working blogs, articles, etc. And you speak only English, period. As a CEO, as the founder, you have to lead by example. You have to respect your people. You have to respect the time zone. It's super complicated for Eastern team to work late at night. So just yourself, don't trigger meetings super late, etc. Be creative. Use the technology for that, but respect the time zones. Respect all what you do for your people, what you can. We try to ramp up our new hires as well, sending the French team, you know, in those three areas: support, customer success, and sales, to help them to ramp up. It worked pretty well, even from a business standpoint and for the fun factor, you know, to start this. And it was also a way for us to continue to hire internationally in Montpellier, you know, to fuel the next round, you know, the next expansion. You have to leverage the technology. Seems easy to say, but just do your due diligence to find the right software to do that. Well, it's your job to develop closeness with the right technology. And what worked well as well for us, it was to, since the beginning, we've implemented an online global HR system, and it was great to celebrate work anniversaries, birthdays, babies. You know, they love to have information about each other. What we didn't do so well, plenty of things. And for example, it's a time where management can never visit too often. It's a time where I've picked Kansas City for many reasons, as I explained, but because all the noise about my industry was in San Francisco, I had myself, as a founder, to go once a month to give that illusion that we were in San Francisco for my partners, etc. And I didn't stop enough in Kansas City while back to Europe, because it was lots of, you had kids, etc. in between. It's a nightmare. But there is this feeling that you are preferring the original office, you know, the core team, etc. So you have to manage. You have to travel as much as you can to visit your team. I should have done much more cross-pollination of employees, move them full-time. I tried to do. I made some very short-term decision about. You know, not investing enough into visas, into lawyers, etc. And it was not scalable what I've done, and it was a mistake. And I also should have sent much more engineering, you know, profiles, much more product roles to help this sales team. Also, I talked to you about software. In our case, we were using Zoom, etc. But if your audio-video systems sucks, the full experience sucks. So please, I'm super ashamed to show you that, but it was the kind of systems we had just before the acquisition. bad savings, bad Rachel. So don't do that. And also be prepared to talk about local market value to your teams. Most of the time, we are young startups, we are hiring young people, you are expanding fast, and actually, your team is not mature enough to understand the local salaries. So the original team thinks that you are paying much more the new US guys because you are punishing the, it's completely crazy, but it's little bomb, So just kill that topics. And now it's our turn. So, and our Zendesk is just killing it, to take care of us. So, sorry for the slide where there is some format stuff, but as a French, person, I love to say that we are still at the center of the world, even if we are far, far, far away from the mothership. So we are experiencing being in the shoes of the isolated little subsidiary. And where Zendesk is really getting it right, because I'm learning a lot from the success of Zendesk and what they've done, the tips, the tricks, etc. And on these topics of managing teams overseas, they are really good at, because of their forgiveness culture, they are really empowering local leaders to act fast, to make fast decisions. And that's great to make it to make it work. We all have a 5-star workplace experience, so we have this feeling of belonging to the mothership in San Francisco. Wow. With this dreaming workplace experience, they have done all they could to ease social interactions. Where I, for example, tried to save money, to not explode my costs. And if I had to do that again, I would invest a lot in that. To manage far better my teams overseas. And also they have a fantastic financial communication to explain they are communicating about good news, about bad news, but when the CEO, Michael, is having a monthly town hall again and again, they are still celebrating birthdays and babies. They are almost 2,000 people, but it's really important. And when I see how difficult it was when I was a startup, we've been acquired, we were 40 people. When I see the efforts required for that, it's exhausting you. It's a huge exercise, but it's key to have this glue, for your distributed culture. So relationships are complicated. First, that's great to have distributed offices. You have access to a worldwide market. You have access to a worldwide pool of talents. That's great, but it doesn't come for free. It's your responsibility as a founder, as a leader, as the CEO to take care of this. You are the one who will make it work or crash. Really, it's on you to deal with that. You can't blame anyone else if it's not working. It's on you. So over communicate, right? I already told you it seems easy, but it's a regular exercise. People will try to correct it by having lots of meetings, so it's also on you. It's your responsibility to lead by example and not trigger meetings every time or, without preparing it. Technology helps, of course. Be ready to travel, as I mentioned, because we still need physical, face-to-face stuff. Try to enjoy, because it's a marathon. And join Station F if you want to expand your business also in France or in EMEA or else. Zendesk is helping startups to have free desks at Station F. Voilà. Thank you very much for your time. And all the best for your businesses and good luck.